Icon.
Okay, well, good morning, everyone. Maybe this is the right time to start our sharing session today. Okay, well, good morning, everyone, the speakers and also the participants. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I am Yuyun Putri Mandasari as the Master of Ceremony today. I would like to welcome you to the sharing session 4 presented by Indonesian ESP Teachers Community. And also I would like to welcome the distinguished speakers today, Mas Dwi Yulianto Nugroho MED from Faculty of Nursing Universitas Pelita Harapan with his topic Academic Writing Project for Nursing Students from outline to digital books. And also, I'd like to welcome Mbak Erni Dewi Rianti M.Hum from Department of Family Law Universitas Islam Indonesia with the topic Screencasting in Online English Class, Family Law Students' Perspective. Well, everyone, the feeling of grateful and blessed are always devoted to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, the Almighty God, who has given us His blessing, so we can join this sharing session here in a good state of health. And hopefully, all the agendas today will run smoothly until the end. So let's begin the agenda today by saying Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Well, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, now let's move to the main agenda today, the presentations from the distinguished speakers of ESP experts and will be led by the moderator, Mbak Yeni Wulandari, SSMA from Sekolah Tinggi Pariwisata Ambarukmo, Yogyakarta. To the participants, the certificate link will be shared in the middle and also at the last of the session. So just sit back and relax, enjoying the session with your cup of coffee or tea. Well, please welcome Mbak Yeni and the screen is yours.
Okay, thank you Mbak Yuyun for time given to me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And this time it is an honor for me to be here to meet you all in this sharing session 4 of the ESP Teachers Community. And today I'm Yuni Wulandari, will be your moderator. And in this session today, we're going to digest more about recent trends and also insight of English teaching from two incredible presenters. And now first, I'm going to share more about our first presenter, Mas Dwi Yulianto Nugroho, MED. Mr. Dwi graduated from English Education Study Program of Universitas Sanata Dharma Yogyakarta in 2011 and hold a master degree from University of Leeds UK in teaching English to speakers of other languages. And he started his teaching career as an English instructor in STB Alia and in PPK Penampur. And then now he is an English lecturer and section head of student activity and alumni of Universitas Pelita Harapan. And his main research interest is in the use of technology to enhance learning input inside and outside classroom. Some of his magnificent achievements are as an awardee of Van Deventer Mas Scholarship in 2010 and also awardee of Indonesian Endowment Fund for Education in 2016. In the next 20 minutes, we'll have a deeper insight on his research on academic writing project for nursing students from outline to digital books. And so without further ado, please welcome our first speaker. Mas Dwi, time is yours.
Well, thank you so much, Bayani Wulandari, for the introduction. And good morning, everyone. And I'm so glad to be here to share one of my practices that I have done during this COVID-19 pandemic. And I am also glad in here that I have a friend from Vietnam. Thank you for coming and welcome to our community. And hopefully we can learn together from different perspectives. Well, everyone, I would like to share my one of my practices during this pandemic. And I would like to share about the writing skills or how to deliver a writing class during this pandemic, because last week we discussed reading, uh, writing, and also some listening, mostly reading and also speaking anyway. And today I'm going to focus more on writing skills. So I gave my students a project to make a scientific paper actually. And then after I joined, if I'm not mistaken, virtual talk, one of our webinar anyway. And I have got an insight from Pak Sasmoyo at that time as the speaker. It's about making digital books for the students to give access, to give reading access actually, and also to develop writing skills. So when we talk about writing, or when we survey our students about writing, my students said that writing is boring. Yeah, it's quite monotonous anyway, and it's quite difficult as well compared to speaking and other language skills. It's also challenging. It's monotonous. So mostly it's a negative sides rather than the positive one anyway. And it indicates that writing class should be more fun and should engage the students more, should prove that writing can also be fun and everybody can write something anyway. And I still remember when my English teachers in my senior high school was that encouraged us to make a kind of English corner when the students could put their writing or their masterpiece, their poems, their essay, or everything that they would like to put in their English corner so that everybody can read during their leisure time anyway. And it was quite fun, and we could also find some funny stories from our classmates. And when we got high score in writing, our teacher would like to put our essay in the English corner. That was in 2005 when I was in senior high school. And I believe that recently in the present times, we move so fast that we can also integrate this kind of writing projects into with technology. And also, I would like to emphasize that it's also quite important for us to facilitate the 21st century learning to our students, that we need to develop the 4Cs of education, or 4Cs for 21st century skills. They are communications, collaboration, critical thinking, and also creativity. And I personally believe that the purpose of writing class is to prove that everybody can write, that writing can be fun, writing can facilitate us to be a blessing for others, to spread good news and also useful information. And let me share the modules or the curriculum, the English curriculum in the Faculty of Nursing in my university, in Universitas Pelita Harapan, that we have 3 English classes. For the 3rd semester students, we have General English. And then for the 4th semester students, we have English for Nursing. And for the 5th semester students, we have Academic English. So in my context, the students were included in the academic English class. It means that they have passed 2 English classes before, the general English and also English for nursing. And then they come from various places, from Papua, from Ambon, from Kalimantan, Sulawesi, Java, and also Sumatra, Bali, Nusa Tenggara. So they come from various places. It means that they have different background, they have different that knowledge of English as well. And they studied English in the context of emergency remote teaching and learning during this pandemic, because it happened last semester. And they live in the university accommodation. So they are not living in the separated places, but they stay in our university dormitory. Because they are scholarship-based students, so they are required to stay in the dormitory. And in the dormitory, they are facilitated with enough speed of Wi-Fi, and also library if they booked before, so they can use the facility in the library as well to support their learning. And since this is the 5th semester students, they will write scientific reports and also a thesis as the final project in the university anyway. And they will read the scientific papers a lot during the following semesters. So the main purpose of the academic English class is to prepare them dealing with academic courses, or more challenging courses anyway. And the last one, as future nurse, as a future nurse, they have also a role as an educator. So I've just known that nurses have several roles. When one of them is as an educator, it means that they have to educate, they have to give educations about health matters, or they have to promote how to live in a healthy condition. And this is the project that I gave to my students last semester. So they were working in groups of 3 to 4, and they're going to make a digital book. It's quite different with last year's project, because I just asked my students to write down an essay in a piece of paper and then submit it, and done, without making the digital books anyway. It consists of 500 to 800 words. So I give limit, the minimum and also the maximum words anyway, just to train them to think critically, to choose which one is the most important information to be included in their essay and which one should not be included. And I also asked them to pass the Turnitin similarity test 20% Turnitin similarity check anyway. And they have got this kind of facility to access the Turnitin by themselves. And I employed a process writing. It means that the writing project was done in a process. So it's not only a product, but we also passed the process of writing or making a project anyway. So the materials that we have learned together in the classroom, like before the mid-semester, we would like to try to give a kind of reading and also listening skills, the academic one anyway, like skimming and scanning, using context clue, making inferences until identifying rhetorical structure to prepare them to get input from reading and also listening passages. And after the mid-semester, we would like to focus more on the writing, how to paraphrase, how to summarize, how to synthesize information. And finally, after they have got enough, after we, the lecturer, consider that they have got enough skills in reading, listening, and also writing, we ask them to make an outline as the writing project later on. So it's going to be in a process. So reading and also listening skills as the input, and hopefully the output will be the writing itself. We didn't really focus on the speaking skills because they have already got it a lot during two previous courses in general English and also English for nursing. So in writing, it's mostly for reading, listening, and also writing. The process that I would like to share mainly focus on the outlining and also the writing first draft only. So the process of writing, after they have got enough academic skills on reading and also listening and writing anyway, the first thing that they need to do is choosing a topic. I recommend several topics to be chosen, but they were allowed to also propose a topic which interests them. But we need to discuss first, because of the time anyway, and also the visibility of the topic itself. And in order to make an outline, I highlighted the format of a paragraph and also an essay. So we use this kind of hamburger analogy anyway. Hamburger consists of the top bun and also the bottom bun. The top bun is the introduction, and the bottom bun is the conclusion anyway. And we have also the cucumber, the tomatoes, the meat, the cheese. That's the body paragraph, the content of the essay. So here, I highlighted on the introduction, the body paragraph, and also the conclusion part. And finally, I also included, highlighted the main idea and also the supporting details, how to write the main idea and also supporting details in a good way. And after we have got the outline, so we would like to develop an outline into the first draft. We have Zoom meeting, where we can discuss, where we can speak up, and I can give oral feedback, and we can even share our idea together during the Zoom meeting to compose or to develop the outline into the first draft. And after that, the students would like to develop their first draft into the final essay. It's I again, as the lecturer, give a feedback in the form of written feedback anyway. And after we have got the final essay, I encourage my students, or I ask my students to develop their final essay, the paper one, into digital book anyway. And I have shared the link to access my students' project in a chat box, and you can review it later on. And wait. Okay, maybe later on. So I would like to share their voices after they were asked to fill out a questionnaire anyway, a non-questionnaire, and about their feeling when they were doing the project. Most of them said that they felt happy when doing the project anyway. And when I asked them whether the final project develops and their communication skills are not quite happy with the result, that most of them gave also positive feedback that the project develops their communication skills, and also the critical thinking skills. It's quite high. The percentage is quite high in here. And the creativity, yeah, it's the highest percentage among all questions anyway. 86.8% students stated that they completely agree that the final project develops their creativity. And about the collaboration skills, still high, 73.7% students of the students stated that the project develops their collaboration skills. And they also said that the final project is quite motivating. And about the open-ended questions, they mostly said that the project develops their English, their creativity, and also improve their collaboration skills and also the writing skills. And here I would like to emphasize on the third one, and that the students here stated that at first he or she thought that the project seems difficult, but after he or she watched the tutorial that I have given, and also he or she is quite interested with the PowerPoint things. Uh, he or she stated that he wants to make another flip book because of this project. And the other open-ended questions result in here reveals that the project gave positive impacts. And in here, yeah, the fourth statement, that the project also gave impacts to others because we share the links and we let others to read our project anyway. And they're quite satisfied with the project because they can also do their role as an educator anyway. The challenges that we have found is related with the design, with the skills of designing the book anyway. And also work as a team is quite difficult because they have different perspectives and different ideas. And also they stated that the challenge will be about their English and how to develop ideas. And in here, in order to make the digital books, we can use the Microsoft Words and also Microsoft PowerPoints anyway, just to draft the digital books. And after that, we save the Microsoft Words files and also the PowerPoint files into the PDF because this is quite important. The file must be saved in a PDF format. And after that, I use pub HTML5, although in a chat box, we can also find that Boo Nerti also conducted a quite similar project with ours anyway, but she or they used a different platform, not the pub HTML5. And I can conclude that the objective of my writing class can be achieved because I have proven that everybody or my students can write. And the evidence is this, that they can they can create a digital books for others to read. And if we still have time, I would like to share how to make the digital ebook anyway, or digital book, sorry. It will be started from, wait a minute, from the scratch. Yeah, after they have got the what's that? The final essay, they would like to develop their essay into an ebook. So I would like to use the Microsoft Words in here. So I have got a picture from Google, but I encourage them to state the source of the picture as well in the reference. So for example, is this. So I have got the title, I have got the writer in here. So I use the, so I click, I've made the right click on the picture and I use wrap text and I choose behind text. And I just simply do like this for the, it's up to the students' creativity anyway. So the students are very creative. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, for example, this is the cover. So after I finish with the cover, I would like to deal with the second page. Yeah, so I can put another picture and also the second page in here. Usually the background of the issue, and in the next page or the third page, that's going to be the thesis statement or some facts supporting the issue. So after we have got the scratch, we save the file into PDF form, yeah, so that it can be uploaded in the HTML5. I also have, we can also use the PowerPoint, and I give this PowerPoint to my students, or this example to my students anyway. I give the guidance or the instructions for the project using the digital book as well, so that they can be familiar with the digital ebooks. One important thing that we have to remember is that we have to save it, always save it in PDF form, in PDF. Okay, after we have got the PDF, we go to pub HTML5. Pub HTML5. So wait a minute. I would like to share the website as well. So here, Bapak Ibu or everyone, we can go to pubhtml5.com/login.php. If we haven't got any account, please create an account here. Just click on create account, and then we can put our email, the password, and retype the password. Just think that we are not a robot. Accept the terms and also the terms of service and sign up. Yeah, it's quite simple. Because I have got the account, I just simply put my email address in here and also the password. So I would like to log in. So Bapak Ibu, this is the appearance when we first go to pub HTML5. So we can got this kind of features anyway. Yeah, you can later on, what's that? Try by yourselves at home after this session. So the first thing that I did at that time was to make submission folders, because I have two classes. So I made A1. This is for my students in N1 class, A1 collections and A2 collections. So the way to make a folder is just simply click this plus what's that sign in my pubs. Just click here and then click new folder. Yeah, it's very simple. My pubs plus the plus sign and then new folder. And after we have made the folders for the students to submit their project, we are done. We can make a tutorial video as well. Oh yeah, I share the email address and also the password to my students so everybody can access, but I reminded them not to change the password. Yeah, that's how we work. So the students uploaded their PDF files by themselves, and in the correct folder, of course. And this is the way how to upload our PDF files if we have got one. So we just simply click quick upload here. Yeah, quick upload, the orange box in here, quick upload. And then if we have made a folder, just click the, what's that? The destination folder anyway. For example, I am the member of A1 student. So I just click A1. I click next. Yeah. In here, we can simply drag and also drop our PDF file, or we can browse the PDF file in here. Because I have got one, so just simply that browse and then select. So here, this is the PowerPoint that I have made before. Both files are in the PDF files format. Just open. So here, this process of uploading, we can put a title, suitable title for our digital books, and we can also put the description of the ebook. itself. We can add the keyword. We can categorize our ebook. For example, it's about education, for example. Oh, wait, where is the education part? The education in here. And then after we have uploaded the PDF files, give the title, the descriptions, keyword if needed, we can click create. Actually, Bapak Ibu, if we subscribe, what's that? This account, it means that we pay for the premium account. We can click this. We can click allow readers to download this PDF file. But because I use the basic one, the free account one, I cannot click this one. So I cannot allow my readers to download the PDF file that I have uploaded. So because I have done everything in here, just simply click create. So it's in the process of uploading into the what's that, to the system, to the website. So after I convert or I upload it in here, yeah, I've successfully uploaded anyway. I can check in the correct folders in here in my, yeah, it's already uploaded. This is my ebook that I have uploaded, the Academic English Final Project 1. After the students finish uploading this, me as the facilitator, I would like to encourage them to to make a kind of digital library so that everybody can access. So the digital library can be created in here in my bookcases column. Yeah, this is the digital library, or yeah, if you see the picture that I have shared before, it's about the bookshelves. That's the bookcases in here that we have created. So we just simply click plus sign, and we can make a new bookcase in here. So I have several bookcases in here. The bookcase from A1 students and a bookcase from A2 students. But I compiled those 28 digital books or PDF files into one library in here, Academic English Advanced. So I uploaded this by myself, and we have got this. So if you would like to share the link is in here. Yeah, share the. My suggestion is to share the what's that, the bookcase rather than the PDF files in here, because your readers can access all digital books that the students or the writers have uploaded. So you can share this link, or you can give the QR code to your readers, to your audience. So Bapak Ibu, these are the results of our project. So it's quite fun anyway. If the readers would like to read, just simply choose or pick up the book, the digital books in here. For example, this one, just click view. Yeah, they will be directed to digital books that they have chosen. So in here, this is the way how to read. And if you're using your laptop, just use this sign, or if you're using your mobile phone, just that just swipe to go to the next page. So this is the sample. Yeah, I would like to share the sound as well. Yeah, in here, yeah, this is the sample of the digital ebooks that the students have already created. So in here, Bapak Ibu, if you can see, the students didn't only not only include the writing, but they also provide pictures just to help the readers to visualize what is it in the writing. So that's the sample of the digital ebooks that we have created. Yeah, just the same with my students, Bapak Ibu. At first, I thought that it's quite complicated, but after we tried together, we tried to learn, we tried to make this kind of project or the ebook project, it seems that it seems quite easy. It's not really as sophisticated or as difficult as we thought before. Yeah, I think. Wait. Yeah, Bapak Ibu, we can try. We can try to prove that everybody can write. Yeah, I've proven it that writing is not difficult sometimes. Writing can be fun, writing can be enjoyable. And oh yeah, Bapak Ibu, I would like to show you later on. Wait. If you click this one, this ebook, the students used their own pictures. So they took pictures by themselves. They are the actor, they are the models of the pictures, and they included the pictures in their digital book. So they may choose the pictures from Google, but be really careful with the copyright things. That's why attribution for the creator is important. Yeah, and I encourage my students to put also the source of the pictures in the reference part. And finally, Bapak Ibu, thank you for listening. If you would like to discuss more about this issue or any issues about English for specific purpose in nursing, we may meet in email and Outlook email or in Facebook and also in Instagram. And you can also chat me. My phone number is included in our WhatsApp group. I think that's all, Ibu Yani and everyone. So, Ibu Yani, I would like to give time back to you. Thank you.
What an excellent presentation. Thank you, Mas, for the presentation. And it is, I think it's hard for all of us during this emergency remote teaching and learning. And I believe that all of you maybe have question or something to share. If you would like to share or ask, please write down on our chat and we will have the discussion at the end of this presentation. And now I would like to introduce you to our second presenter. And here we have Mbak Erni Dewi Rianti. And Mbak Erni has finished her undergraduate study in English literature in 2005 from Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta. And she completed her graduate program in English Studies in 2012 from Universitas Sanata Dharma Yogyakarta. And she has a quite long career in teaching and started her career as a teaching assistant in Akademi Akuntansi KPN and also then to Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, and now she is a lecturer at the Department of Family Law Universitas Islam Indonesia Yogyakarta. Her research interests are in technology, in language learning, language, gender, and social media. Some of her incredible works were published in various journals and also proceeding in many seminars. Her journals, especially on this, we have On Being Muslim Americans, site for negotiating identity that was published in Indonesian Journal of Interdisciplinary Islamic Studies. She is also an active member of Masyarakat Linguistik Indonesia and also the Indonesian Extensive Reading Association. In the next 20 minutes, we're going to have a better knowledge on her work, Screencasting in Online English Class, Family Law Students' Perspective. A very interesting issue during this pandemic. Okay, so let's get some insight of this work. Would you please welcome Miss Erni Dewi Rianti? Time is yours.
Thank you very much for the warm welcome. I see some familiar names here. Thank you so much for attending this session. I hope it will be shorter. Mine is not as elaborative. Pak Dwi, Mas Dwi, that was very excellent project. Yeah, I hope I can adopt that to my other class. I have a extensive reading, as Miss Yani mentioned that I joined in Indonesian Extensive Reading Association, and we are exploring on stuff on projects and stuff. This is great. I'm definitely going to use that. Thank you for the insight. Now let me share a bit of my what I have with my class. This is actually follow-up study. I hope it's shown in your, okay? Is it okay? All right, okay. So what I have today is actually a working paper because I haven't decided how to end it yet because I'm still working. My current work related to my previous one, the one that I submitted to the Department of English or the English Education Department in Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. So last semester I study or oh yeah, this is the outline of my presentation, and then the students participate in a study that I conducted last semester on asynchronous learning. I took a different path compared to my fellow colleague in my department. Most are going synchronous because the adaptation from the offline to online will not really bad or not really different when you conduct synchronous class. But I don't know, maybe I call it jalan ninja, yeah, because I'm taking it differently other than my friends because I look a lot to Coursera or Future Learn or Khan Academy, and I see that okay, videos can also make learning interesting. It's not merely synchronous one. Not that I don't have synchronous session in my classes, but I still have one. I still have several synchronous session, but then most of my classes are asynchronous. The one that I conducted last semester in line with the students' interest because most of my students comes from or not most, maybe some of them are from remote areas. Internet connection is issue, and I think it is still for most of us, right? So what I have this semester is actually the follow up from this one, yeah. So what I want to explore in this study is actually their perspective on screencasting. If you are not familiar with screencasting, so basically this is the digital recording of the computer screen output, often including audio narration, according to Kiliaka in 2016. So if you are familiar with Camtasia or ScreenFlow or the Google has Screencastify, and the one that I use in my class is Screencast-O-Matic. Is basically like I'm making video tutorials that is delivered in my class and then broadcasted to a channel that is provided also by the university to deliver the material. So screencasting can be used for many things. It can be for evaluation. It can be for giving feedback. Mine is delivering materials. Yeah. So basically, what I did in this the whole year, yeah, because this has been conducted for a year with the student of 2020 and 2021. The student coming to the LMS, we have Google Classroom in our department, in our university, and they have materials attached in the in the LMS or in Google Classroom, and then there they will learn independently and have control on how they will learn on the materials that is agreed by the first in the first meeting or explained in the first meeting. So screencasting, in my opinion, or in my class, used as facilitating the asynchronous session, and then the screencast used for material delivery, yeah, in form of tutorials. So I make tutorials using Screencast-O-Matic. I will show you later. the university is kind enough to provide us both synchronous and asynchronous applications. Of course, the synchronous application is using Zoom meeting, but the asynchronous ones, the university provides Panopto. Probably it is quite new for you because it is new for me too. Panopto is actually a platform similar to YouTube, but it is much more secure, I can say. And I don't know whether it can be monetized or not. I haven't checked that, but the one that I use in my class, I'm sorry, is limited to the use only those I share the link with. Okay, so why I use screencasting, because yeah, the university and the department provide us the apps. So the premium apps are provided by the both department and also by the university. Okay. Excuse me. So this is basically the flow of my class. This semester, the class called English for Family Law, and the screencasting that takes place in my class basically comes in asynchronous session, and then upload it to the LMS or our Google Classroom. And then as it is in form of the tutorials, the production using Screencast-O-Matic, and then the broadcast using Panopto. Okay. So what I did in my class is handing out a short survey, the Google in form of Google in Google Form to students taking English for Family Law. In this semester, there are 115 students taking in 4 classes, taking this class, and 97 students or 97 form returned to me. So about, I think it's good enough to see whether the aim of this research is it has met my purpose. And then to follow up, I use interview to randomly selected students in the Google Form. By the end of the Google Form, I request the student whether or not they would they want to be the interview participants, and those who agreed, they will leave their number and I will contact them. Simple as that. And then this is from the Google Form. It's a bit, well, I don't know. I I just want to make sure that they are still interested in asynchronous learning, and it turns out that 95.9 are 96.9 are still interested or are still preferred learning English asynchronously, similar to last semester. And then whether or not the tutorials help the students comprehend the material, and 99% say so. However, this is the element of surprise. When it comes to understanding, it only 61.9%. Excuse me. Okay. So only 34% quite understand, or fully understand what I'm saying. But this number is quite significant here. Sorry. So when I asked them later, how cukup paham is not really understand, right? So there must be things that they don't understand. So how do they solve it? So when they get stuck, most ask their friend, not me. Unfortunately. So most of them prefer to ask their friend rather than asking me. But yeah, okay, I'm in the second part, but there is about there are about 10% of them saying others, and what others mean. But Yeni, may I have a gulp of water first?
It's okay, Mbak.
Sorry.
Please.
Thank you. So when I ask the student about others, what is others, and they say they prefer to. We have group chat in the class, but for some reasons they love to chat me personally. Sorry. Some prefer to browse the internet, and other prefer to repeat the tutorials. Okay, when it comes to the interview, I asked whether what's the benefits of having tutorials or screencasts in the class. Most of the students that I interview say that it helps them to have control on their own learning. So like when you watch content in YouTube, for example, you can freely pause and play anytime as you want. It's similar to that. So maybe one of the advantage of having videos or the tutorials in my class is that they have control on how and when they want to learn it, not merely by my command, under my command, but it's their personal will or their autonomy. This is something that I've aimed for some time about being autonomous. Yeah. So as mentioned here, yeah, when they don't understand, they can repeat it. And because by the end of the session, I usually put a quiz I love quizzes, yeah. I love Kahoot and quizzes, but most of the time I use quizzes. So sometimes the quizzes is taken from the video that I made. So the student can check the video first before they go to the quizzes or answering any question asked to them. And also the fact that I switch between English and Bahasa Indonesia. For your record, most of the students in my department, because it is a Islamic based faculty, yeah, the students are mostly from pesantren. And also English is not their mean of communication, their primary means of communication. So they communicate mostly in Arabic, yeah. I'm really sorry about the pauses, yeah. This health issue is not resolved yet. So they also mentioned that when it's not full English, it helps them to understand. So sometimes it's not only in English, but it's also in Bahasa Indonesia. And then when I say what is the drawback, most of the students say that it is a minimum interaction. So why minimum interaction? Because unlike the Zoom meeting where they can go face to face with their teacher, when it comes to tutorials, you can directly ask to your teacher, right? So you have to keep it first or note down first or scribble first before you ask to your teacher. But also, not only the minimum interaction, it comes also to technical issues. Actually, this is my fault. The video production, of course, has technical issues, yeah. And I am personally really aware about it. So in this semester, the issue is that my volume, the volume of my voice. So it's not really clear sometimes, and they say that this is the drawback of having tutorial in my class. And then this one came up especially with Panopto. I'm not really aware of this issue in the beginning, because as I see that the use of data for Panopto is actually bigger or higher than YouTube. It turns out that way. So that's why some of the students are quite reluctant about watching the video on Panopto, because it takes more data than when they watch from YouTube. Okay. And when I asked them about my video production, most of them say that okay, most are okay because the app works well. But when it comes to video broadcast, most of the interviewee complains because they say that it's difficult, it takes time to open and stuff and blah blah blah, things like that. So whether or not I use screencasting for the next semester, because this is quite surprising, because I thought that next semester will be full offline, but it turns out in my department, the university has designed a hybrid classes. So there will be meetings offline in campus or combined with online session. But it turns out that my department will go full online again next semester. So the students who were the interviewee mentioned that maybe it's better to alternate with Zoom meeting or having more synchronous sessions with the students. Okay, so that's by far what I find in my study. So for now, my conclusions are the family law students still enjoy learning asynchronously. Screencasting in form of tutorial helps. But live session are needed. Video broadcasting needs a shift, because I don't think Panopto works in my department. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you very much for joining my session. My apology for the constant coughing. I'm not feeling really well this week. But thank you for having me this session. Thank you, Miss Yeni.
Okay, thank you, Miss Ernie, for a very insightful presentation, and thank you for sharing with us about this screencasting that you used in your classrooms. And yeah, everyone here might have the same problem with you, Ernie, because yeah, we've got stuck in this kind of online sessions, and most students usually get it hard because of either connection or also the data, about the data they use for videos and also synchronous like Zoom meetings. All right, thank you. And I will invite Bapak Ibu to who have questions or want to share with the presenters directly. You may raise your hands, and I will also have check the chat if there are questions here. Um, okay. Okay. And there will be a question from Pak Sikit. Okay. Let me unmute this first. Okay.
Thank
Please.
you, Miss Yayen. I called her Miss Yayen. She's a good friend of mine. And so is Miss Ernie. We've been friends for a long time. Okay, thank you for a very insightful presentation, both Ernie and Mas Dwi. I missed the first one. Okay, being like this, I mean, going online on our classes somehow drives us crazy, especially for those who are in the first semester. Because I must say, in my in my campus, English is not the favorite subject. So my question goes to both presenters: how to make the student feeling like bonded with us, especially in English class, because they feel like, okay, I don't like English, and doing this online will be a trouble for us. That's what I get from the student. We don't know them for real. I mean, we don't see them face to face. And then, in the other hand, we've got to deliver the subjects for those who feel like, okay, they put shelter, so they just close their mind of English. I know that you are experienced enough, and can you suggest something for me, especially in order to make them feeling like, okay, I'm going to join your class, even though I don't really like English. Okay, thank you. Especially for the first semester student, the new ones.
Okay, thank you for the question, Mr. Plus. Okay, now I will give the time for Pak Dwi or Bu Edni for the answer from the how to make the student bonded with us, especially for the first semester student. Time is yours. Siapa dulu? Okay.
Can I? Werni first?
Okay.
Yeah,
Please,
please, please.
That's okay.
please.
Either one.
Okay, you first, Bu.
Okay. Wow, thank you. I happen to teach English for first semester, yeah, Mr. Press. It's quite well. I know teaching students who are transitioning from high school to university is challenging, and teaching those kind of student online turns out much more challenging. Especially when I have, this is one of the, probably I should say this is one of the drawbacks of having more asynchronous learning. But I should also say that it later become blessing in disguise, yeah, for some reasons. I see that they, especially in my department where I mentioned earlier that most are pondok pesantren students, yeah, or those who graduated from Islamic boarding school, where English is not merely their achieving good skills in English is not their main purpose. Probably in life, yeah, their purpose is having good skills in Arabic because this is what the department requires them to have. But one of the, this is, can I say it personal, because I've been working with some students in the past 2 or 3 years, to conferences, to projects, research projects, and most bring these students abroad. And I come up with the idea of, okay, why don't you learn English that will enable you to go abroad? Now that it is online, your going abroad is a lot easier because you can join any there are chances that you can just get by clicking your hands and things like this. And it can be done one of the ways through English. So that kind of support, that kind of encouragement is what I find is what they need by far, yeah. Especially because this semester actually my class concerns on speaking. So this semester, by the end of this semester, they will present. So this is basically a public speaking class. You can imagine how difficult it is to have a public speaking class online, right? Now that I know it is so challenging, but I know that they can do this because they have plenty of time to prepare. So probably it takes time, Pak Pras, to process, yeah, the need of learning English, but knowing that there will be chances, awaits them. I sometimes invite senior students also to speak to them virtually about, yeah, I've been here, I've been there, I've been doing this and that. And in some ways it helps. In some ways, if they don't, then at least I've tried. Okay, because not all are interested in going abroad, for example, or joining conferences or exchange to being an exchange student or things like that. But at least I've supported or I've encouraged enough to those that they can pursue those chances. I think that's what I have by Faria, Mr. Pras. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can
All right, thank you, Ibu Yani, and also thank you, Pak Sigit, for the question. And wait a minute, please. I have, while listening Ibu Erni to, what's that, to answer your questions, Pak Sigit, I wrote down several ideas in here. Yeah. Oh, somebody have an unmute. I think I need to unmute several people first. Okay. So I do agree, Pak Sigit, that teaching not only English, I think other subjects for the first semester students is very challenging, especially during this emergency remote teaching, because they have quite, or some of my students have quite, what's that? They lack of digital literacy. They're not really familiar with Zoom. They're not really familiar with Teams, email, something like that. So I think the first thing that I need to spend if I thought the first semester students, but luckily I am not teaching the first semester students, but if I thought the first semester students, I would like to spend several times to, to introduce several medias like Zooms, Teams, or other things that we need to support the learning process. So I would like to try to develop their digital literacy or their digital literacy skills so that they will be ready to join both synchronous and also asynchronous meetings. And the second one that I would like to do is like, I'm in the very first meeting, I always say this to my students. So I ask them to imagine in the next 4 years or 5 years that they will be a nurse. They will probably take care of international patients. That's why English is important, because for nurses, they're dealing with life, also death for the patients. So whether you like it or not, and Perry and also Potter, they also stated that nurses must take care of any patients regardless their background, their religion, their ethnics, or their origins. So they have to take care of all patients. It means that if they have international patients, they have to take care of the international patients. That's why English in here is very important. That's the first thing that I said to my students. I think you can say it so to your students in your contact, where they will use English for their real life world later on when they graduate from the universities. Like I also give an example, like in the present times, integrating health or medications with technology is becoming popular and popular. Like we know telehealth, telemedicine, something like that, where technology is also used in here. That's why I always said that learning English and also technology is very important. And I also read an article written by Dr. Lam from the University of Leeds, my previous professor anyway. And he highlighted about the probability of the authenticity gap in the language learning. The authenticity gap in here can make the students become demotivated to join our class. The authenticity gap in here is discussing an issue where the material or the English lessons that we teach in our classroom is not related with the English that they will use in in the real world or outside the classroom. That's why we as an English teachers, I think it's quite important to think whether the learning process that we are doing in our classroom is related with the real world's needs or not. And Dr. Lam in here highlighted that this kind of authenticity gaps can influence the motivation to join our class. If the lessons in our English class is quite meaningful, the students will probably be motivated to join us. That's why in here, Dr. Lam and also Dr. Lee from the University of Hong Kong, they discussed a lot about OILI and also IDLE in here. OILI in here stands from online informal learning of English, and IDLE in here stands from informal digital learning of English. That's why we have, as an English teachers, are suggested to use technology a lot, both inside and also outside, because the students are not only the students, our lives are quite close with the technology, with the mobile phones. I think one of the ways to encourage or to motivate the students to learn in our class are to highlight the purpose of learning English in our class, whether it's English for nursing, English for engineering, English for law, or anything. And the second one is to minimize the authenticity gap in our classroom. I hope it helps, Pak Sigit, and I also would like to learn from you one day.
Thank you, Pak Dwi, Mas Dwi. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for the insight from both Miss Ernie and Mr. Dwi. And now there is one person want to ask here, Miss Ian. Okay. I would like, okay, I would like to unmute first. I can unmute this. Anybody can help me. Ini Ibu or Bapak Ian want to ask question. Okay. But I can unmute. Okay, you can share your question.
Oh yeah, thank you very much, Mbak Yeni, but I cannot share my camera. I'm so sorry because I'm not wearing my hijab right now. I would like to ask Pak Dwi. I also teach in health education, so it's a good share for me. I have a big question for you about how you manage your time to, give feedback. I mean, to check. My biggest problem is I have really limited time to check the student project, especially when it comes to writing, because when they write, it's not enough for only one paragraph or two paragraphs, but they need maybe some paragraphs, especially when it is related to journal article. And it really takes too much time for me. And as a mama, I really have limited time for that. And how do you manage that issue? And then for writing, do you have any ideas about journal article that they have to master, especially for research methodology that they have to know related to abstract and so on? Thank you very much. Thank you, Mbak Yeni.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Yan, for the question. And now I would like to give the question to both Pak Ernie and Pak Dwi first to share about how to manage the time, especially during this this hard time now. Okay, who will be the first? Pak Dwi, maybe
Please,
will be the first.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ibu Yan, for the question, and also Bu Yani for the time. Well, it's very interesting questions, Ibu Yan, because it was my problem. It is my problem still, actually. But after I discussed with my several of my close friends, anyway, those are English teachers as well. We said that if we give assignments to our students, we must give it back as well. So that kind of statement, that kind of agreement, after we discussed, anyway, after we met, always sticked in my mind that I would like to devote my time to give it back. Although sometimes it's very difficult for me also to manage my time to give it back. Well, that's why I put them in groups. When I have a lot of students and I would like to give feedbacks, and it is done in a group projects, I can assign peer feedbacks where they can comment on their friends or their group members' performance, and I can also, what's that, have less meetings with my students because they are doing the project in groups. And when they're doing project in groups, they also develop their collaboration skills as well. So yeah, it's quite difficult. Sometimes we had meeting at night, sometimes in the weekend as well, because they're very busy, and English is not the favorite subject, as what Pak Sigit said in the beginning. Yeah, because this is not the core subject in my faculty. That's why we had a kind of Zoom meeting after class or even during the weekend. But I would like to try my best to give it back to my students, although it's sometimes difficult. If I cannot give a personal feedback to each member of my class or to each group anyway, I would like to make a kind of general feedback. Like I would like to highlight the common problems that my students mostly faced during my class anyway. To be honest, I didn't give any feedback for each assignment. If I cannot manage my time to give feedback for each assignment, I would like to summarize the most common problem happen in that particular assignments anyway. And hopefully with this kind of strategy, I will not be overwhelmed because we have to stay healthy, both physically and also mentally during this pandemic. And I really understand, yeah, Ibu Yan, you highlighted about emak-emak. And I also was that appreciate emak-emak in here during this pandemic because they, if I can honestly say, they work extra, yeah, compared to me as a husband. Anyway, that's why. What's that? If I can say, I also lower my standard. Yeah, I cannot expect to achieve the ideal one during this pandemic. That's why, yeah, we just try our very best to give everything to my students, while we at the same time we have to stay healthy both physically and also mentally and also spiritually, of course. And the second question, Ibu Yani, I'm so sorry if I forgot it. Hopefully it helps. I would like to learn from you also, Ibu Yan.
About any experience about having teaching related about what article?
Yeah.
Methodology, research methodology. I mean, they have to make abstract and so on. So, how related to writing? Do you have any experience of having journal article to be a part of your writing project?
Okay, thank you, Ibu Yan, for again interesting question. Anyway, well, this is what makes our curriculum unique anyway, because I'm teaching the 5th semester students, but they haven't taken the research and also statistic course because it was offered in the 6th semester. So that's why it's overlapped, if I can say. But in my class, I usually choose not release difficult journal article. Of course, not from a Q1 and also Q2 Scopus Index articles, but because the language is very sophisticated, it will sometimes demotivate my students. So I will what's it like? Choose a quite simple topic and in English anyway, but it's any from any journal. And I would like to consider that the language is not really difficult. And in here, I'm also an extensive reading enthusiast. I also applied ER, to implement ER in my class. So I give freedom to my students to choose any journal articles that they want based on their English proficiency, the current English proficiency, a comprehensible input, of course. And the journal must be, what is that? The journal must interest them. So they must be suitable with their interest. If they're interested in maternity, so they have to read maternity journals or journals about maternity, sometimes with pediatric or mental health, something like that. So I also try to implement extensive reading journals. I think that Ibu Yan, hopefully it answer your questions.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Ibu.
Okay, Mbak Erni, would you like to also
Okay.
add to the question?
Yeah. Well, most of the part has been covered by Mas Dwi. Yeah. So, be mindful to yourself, Ibu Yan. We're in the same boat. Yeah. We know how emak-emak is koprol ya kemana-mana when it comes to balancing between work and life, ya, which is not balanced at all. Yeah. Okay, don't let me keep talking because I'll start curhat macam-macam ini after this. So let me highlight is that make sure that what you put into assignment to when you design assignment or stuff or making evaluation or anything, make sure that it will not be a burden to yourself. My department follow a kind of so by the beginning of the semester when we design the RPS, the university actually, not only the department, the university encourage us to make also lembar penugasan. It means that we will stick to that lembar penugasan for the rest of the semester. So how many I design not much, not many. I mean, like in a semester, because I only have about 14 meetings with 2 periods of exams. I only have about 4 to 6. 6 is the maximum because I cannot hold any more assignments. And then what about the rest? I can just give them quiz which is not marked. Yeah, so quizzes is the best by far, is my personal favorite. So I can just give them quiz. They will do a kind of assessment, but it's not really burdensome to them. However, there is a batch, I think it's not this one but the previous one, saying that I use quizzes as an assessment and they complain because it feels like it's not an assessment, it's a game. We need something more serious. Okay, then by then okay, so some can do this but some cannot, so things like that. In regard to Miss Yeni, it is about publication or something in second question?
Journals for the students. Do you have any suggestion or
Is
how
it
to
about?
choose journals for the
Oh, I
student?
see.
If I'm not mistaken.
I probably not the I'm not the right person to answer this, but what I did to my class is that I tried to choose the shortest, maybe the shortest 5 to 7 pages, with me giving them example reading similar journal for them. So I did that to my, but not in this department. I'm also teaching at the Islamic economic department in the same faculty in the Islamic economic. What I did is that I gave the students 3 options, just similar to Mas Dwi. I gave them I gave the students options. Then the students can choose one of the journals, but these 3 are similar. Yeah, I mean, like the number of the length of the journal and then the diction and stuff. But I also give them example that I read journal. So no, I'm not only giving them the assignment, but I I did the same pain as they do. That's probably important. I'm being empathetic with the pain of reading journal. We all know that it is difficult, right? So I should make sure that the student see that I do the same effort as they do. It is painful, but they say that it works to start, because the economic students say that, yeah, we know that the coming semester will be storms of journals coming from other subjects. Yeah, so reading once from you, especially in English, is a good start. We know what we are going to do, like knowing the battlefield earlier, that later they will also read about journals. But in my opinion, for now, because I'm teaching the first semester students, try the shortest. Let them know that this is the structure, and okay, that's all that they know. Okay, jadi journal itu ada apa aja sih? That's all that I would like them to know. I'm not talking about whether is it a good one, whether this is what do we find, whether it is corpus or things like that. No, they don't need to know about that yet. The most important thing, that okay, they know that this is journal, they know the parts, and that's it. That's what I did in my class, Miss Yani.
Okay, thank you, Miss Ernie, and also Mas Dwi for very insightful answers. And I hope this would answer the question from Ibu Yan. And I think we have several questions in the chat, and I will open that. Okay, so this is a question for Pak Dwi, from Pak SP from Academy. Or Pak SP, would you like to ask it by in person to Mas Dwi, please?
All right, Ibu Yani, thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm probably the most gray-haired teacher in this group. I have actually two things. One, we are having problem of finding reference books on ESPs. It's a pin in the neck. That's what the idioms. So do you have any reference where we can have access of free digital libraries, and especially that has ESP's references? Number one. Number two, I have read several journals, and a lot of them are making the same reference, the same citations. So it seems like they're just copy paste the citation from a different journal, and sometimes I wonder what's the benefit? I mean, what's the intellectual ingredient inside when our student or even lecturers are just copying citation from different places? I can understand that happen because there is no such references available in their library. So they are just taking citation from everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak SP, and Pak Dwi, would you like to answer the question about reference, how we can get the access for reference, especially for the digital ESP books?
Okay, thank you, Pak SB, for the questions. And personally, it's also my problem, Pak SB, because in my library, the textbook that we got is quite old book. Anyway, it's not really updated. That's why I think it's gonna answer Pak Hilman's questions about the material development. Yeah. That's why my mentor or my senior lecturer created a kind of modules for us. So she conducted a kind of needs analysis and the research anyway. Needs analysis, ask the students, ask the alumni, ask the nurse in the hospital, and also ask nursing lecturers anyway. That's why she could create a kind of modules for our English for nursing subjects. I think SB, if honestly, couldn't suggest you about the digital library to access ESP books anyway, but I I also joined a kind of channel in Telegram anyway. It's called English ebooks, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and what is that? There are several, or I don't know how many percent share. Usually, if we have got ebooks from any source, we can share the ebooks, and it's kind of channel, Pak, in Telegram, and I have joined that. It's called wait, and I think English ebooks. Yeah, English e/books. Yeah, I've joined that channel. Wait a minute, and it's provided with a lot of digital resources. This one, Pak SB. So English.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Yeah, but yeah, to be honest, I couldn't suggest you any channel or any source to get the ESP, but we can create one. Like this is my planning part. We have got the digital library now, the creations of my previous students last year, and that kind of digital library will be used for my students next year, so they can kind of reading accessed for for the next students or for the juniors to read ESP materials or ESP essay, if I can say. So I think that's all, Pak SB. Or maybe it's a kind of calling for us ESP enthusiasts or ESP lecturers to create kind of books or ebooks or digital books. Thank you, Pak SB. And for the second questions, yeah, about the citations, yeah. For the citations, well, this is my personal opinion anyway, Pak SB. We come up to producing a kind of creation, so it will include our integrity as well. So I cannot comment so much on that, but I will say to my students that for now, for my class, especially, to know how to cite other works properly is enough, because they will learn a lot in the research and also statistic class about citations. For my class, it's enough for them to paraphrase, and also to summarize and even synthesize other works properly. So I just emphasize the skills, how to do the paraphrasing and how to choose the relevant and also the trusted sources. That's all. I think that's all, Pak SB. I hope it helps.
I hope that answer your question, Pak SB. Thank you, Pak Dwi. And I think it's also answer Pak Hilman's question too. And there is also one question left here for Pak Dwi. It's from Pak Didik Wiono, who are asking about the difference between PUB HTML5 and Book Creator. Can you please explain about the difference?
Well, thank you, Ibu Yani, and thank you, Pak Didi, for the questions. And I think in the chat box, yeah, Ibu Nurti Rahayu has helped me answering the questions, because honestly, I haven't got any experience to use a Book Creator. But in here, Bu Nurti stated that the Book Creator allows us to integrate multimodality, such as audio, video, pictures, and text as well. I haven't got any informations whether in PUB's HTML5 can also include the audio. I have tried to search it, but I still couldn't find the features. Perhaps after this, I would like to explore the Book Creator just to compare. But this is interesting if the Book Creator allows us to integrate or to use the audio as well. So it's going to be, the book will be more alive later on. Or Ibu Nurti, maybe you can share more if you're willing.
Bu Nurti. Okay, I will.
Okay, Pak.
Okay. Thank you, Ibu Nurti.
Please, Bu Nurti, for Please share with us what book creator is.
Okay, let me prepare my file first, Ibu. Well, I have to open some files.
Okay, while waiting for Ibu Nerti, I think this is the drawbacks of Pouch HTML5, Bapak Ibu.
Yes.
Because it's a free account, basic account, in one day, there are only 5 files can be uploaded. So we cannot upload more than 5 files. So that's the drawback that we, my students and I experience when we use the Pouch HTML5. Okay, Bu Nurti, I think it's ready.
Okay, thank you, Bapak Ibu. So this is just my sharing about what I have in my classroom. So basically in this semester, I have a class in chef school in one of the tourism school in Jakarta. And one of the project I give to my students is making a recipe book because it is included in one of the lesson plans. So I assigned my students to have a recipe book about traditional food and using book creator. Actually, I just give one session Zoom to introduce them about book creator, some menu, and then how to develop their ideas into the book creator. Basically, I have learned some flip book previously, just like Pak Dwi, and I couldn't find some media to integrate audio and video. Basically, we just have PDF and then we turn into the flip book creators and it becomes a flip book. So I came across with the book creator because I was part of the project by VEA, Virtual Education Academy. And then they introduced me to this book creator. So I learned to integrate to my students also. And it's turned out that it is very easy for students to learn. They do not even ask me how to develop this book. So this is the cover. So they provide some template for the book from not only from the book but also from for newspaper, can be leaflet, brochures, and so on. So you just select their own template and then they can check some pictures to include. They can get it from the database or they can import from the other sources also. And they just click the audio to record their voices. You can input. They can also take a picture, and then it will be included in the book. So this is the book they have made. So it is a collaboration. So I share the code and every student can work together on the page. So every student will have a page and they will work on the page. So let me show you what my student have. So first, so they have the text and then the picture, but it's still loading, I guess. They can integrate their voices. Yeah. So let me repeat again. This is the cover. And then the next page will be a table of content. And then next to this, okay, they will be able to design the template provides a background. They provide the shape. They provide some other tools, just like the font, various kind of fonts, and some other layout tools. Yeah. So they can just record their voices and it is integrate in the book. Okay, so I encourage students to also put some source. They can develop their own resources. They can also take from the website, but they have to put the sources for the copyright concern. And most of them, they have the audio because they have to explain what is it. Okay, so each page is developed by different students, so they can collaborate and they are free to design their own. So it doesn't matter if the template is different from page to page because it is the way they can build their creativity. So this is their recipe book, and one class consists around 30 students. I divide into two. One group consists about 14 students. I focus on traditional snacks, and then the other group will focus on traditional drinks. So at the end, a class will have two book creators, and after they finish making this book creator, we're making some discussion about the problems and so on. Then they do not share any difficulties in creating their ideas, and also their layouts, integrating the pictures, audio and video in the book creators. It's just like this, the students adopt the video from the YouTube, and we just play this one. When the book finished, I just click this one. We can publish online. The file will be in EPUB. Of course, when the students or the readers open the EPUB in Android, they need to download some kind of application, but it is available in the Google, in the Android Play Store. So the form will be EPUB, and we can also download as ebook. So the file will be PDF. In a PDF, then of course the audio and video cannot be played. So the best way is to convert with the EPUB. But of course, the students are recommended to download some applications so they can read the EPUB with the audio and video in. I think that's all, Pak Dwi. It's very interesting, I guess.
Yeah, it's very interesting indeed, Bu. Thank you, Bu Nurti.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay, so thank you, Ibu Nutri, for the insights, and also Pak Dwi. I think we reached the end of the presentation and question and answer session. So thank you, Bapak Ibu, for your attendance, and thank you for Pak Dwi and also Bu Erni for very insightful share about your works. And I will give the time to Mbak Yuyun. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Mbak Yeni. Thank you so much to the presenters today for the insightful sharing, as well as the resourceful participants getting involved in today's sharing. Well, Bapak Ibu, the next agenda is photo session. So please, I would like you to turn on your Zoom camera and we'll take the photo together. Okay, are you ready, everyone? So let me count in. One. Oke, Mas Kanif belum di-on-kan Zoom kameranya, nanti ketinggalan. Please turn on your Zoom camera, Bapak Ibu. Okay, are you ready? So I'll count 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much for turning on your camera. Well, Bapak Ibu, ladies and gentlemen, for the link of certificate, I have already sent to the Zoom group chat, and you may fill out the online form to get the certificate of participation. That's all the sharing session for today. We hope that you found this program useful to add up and upgrade our knowledge regarding with the English for specific purposes. On behalf of the ESP community, I'd like to say thank you once again for joining this sharing session presented by ESP Indonesian ESP Teachers Community. Please accept all our apology for any mistake we made. See you in the next session, and bye-bye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, everyone. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Thank you.
wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you everybody.
Thank you ya Mbak Lulu.
Ya Mbak Erni, Mas Dwi,
Thank you, Mbak
Mbak
Lulu.
Yeni, and
Thank
Mbak
you,
Ibu.
Miss
Mbak
Yayen,
Lulu.
Thank you, Miss
Miss Erni.
Yayan. Thank you, bye.
Mas
Thank
Hamid.
you, Pak Dwi. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Sampai jumpa bulan depan. See you next month. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mbak Yeni, Mbak Lulu, Mbak Yuyun, Mbak Erni. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend.
Have a nice weekend.
Have a nice weekend too. Thank
I'm
you,
leaving.
Mas Kandi, for the link of Zoom meeting.
Thank you,
You're
Mas
very
Kandi. Thank you,
welcome.
Pak Yuyun. Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank
Some
you,
You,
Mbak Yeni.
Pak.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
See
Pak.
you
Thank
next
you.
month.
See you in the next meeting. Thank you. I'm leaving the meeting.